Well, hello everyone and welcome back to Dave Does. Today's project is to turn this into this Fireside lounge chair that I've been building for a few years now. It's very comfortable, it folds up, so it shouldn't take more than an afternoon to build one of these guys out. They're very, very comfortable, they're very durable, they're made out of pressure treated senna. They'll last forever. I always put a second coat of treatment on it to make sure it lasts forever. So let me show you. There you go there. They're very, very comfortable. They fold up for storage. They'll stand by themselves. Don't go by this one. This one's a little loose. I've had it around the shop for a while now. And all I have to do is, on the end here, just tighten this up. And it'll tighten these bolts up here, and it'll just tighten the whole ones up. But these things are very, very comfortable. So, if you want to learn how to do this, I'll give a description as we go along. I'll be giving measurements and sizes and everything and what to do. So, if you feel like building these for you and yours, follow right along. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, to subscribe, and ring the little bell. You'll be notified every time a video is uploaded. Thanks, guys. Okay, the dimensions of the chair. Legs. You need 2 legs. I got it all written down here. You need 2 legs at 53 3/4. So the outside legs, 2 of those. You need for the back pieces. You need 7 36.5. So that's these guys here. You need 7 of them, 36.5. For the seat part, you need 7 12-inch. 7 of the 12-inch. These little connectors, I guess, or they're 6 inches long, and you need 10 of those. The rear legs, and they also part of the seat too. These ones here are made out of 26 by they're 26 inches long, and they're made out of 2x10s. The one I bought today is a 2x8. So what we're going to do, we're just going to extend it by 2.5 inches to get the same thing. The rods are 1/4 inch threaded rod with a bolt on, a nut on each one, and then a locking nut on that with washers. In the middle here, what I've done, on the original one I saw, it did not have these spacers, but what I found, without the spacers, it's too close together and it's actually a little uncomfortable. So there's doweling in here too. So the dowel is just inch thick dowel, and we just use them as spacers in there. So those are the dimensions. I'll put them in the description below, so you have them all, and then we can make them all up. So what we'll do, we'll start cutting everything I'll lay it all out. We'll get on the chop saw, we'll lay it all out, and then we'll get busy with the table saw, and we'll cut everything up to proper dimensions. Okay, I've got it all laid out. It's going to be very, very difficult for you to see, if not impossible. But 3 2x4s. First one is cut. This one will be cut down to 53 3/4, cut in half to 1.5 inches, and that'll be our legs. Then carrying on with the board, so we don't have too much wastage, is the seat. So I got 2 12-inch, 2 12-inch, 2 12-inch. Then I got the other 12-inch there, so we got lots and lots of that. And then for the backs, I need 7 of those. So there's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. I got 8 of those. So I have 1 left over, so I know if I run out or I mess something up with one of the other shorter pieces, I've got that. For the 10 adjoining pieces, they're all 6 inches, and I've got those here. I need 5 blocks of those cut in half, so 1 2 3 4, and then I've got the extra 12-inch from the seat, which I'll cut in half. So we'll head on over to the chop saw, and we'll start roughing all this up. All right, here's all the pieces. Back legs, front legs, back support, seat, and the joining pieces. There's not enough of these, but I've got too many of these, so I'll cut one of these in half to make the extras there. So we're going to go ahead right now and cut everything in half. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to shave off the edges just to make sure they're nice and straight. And then when we do cut them down to 1.5 inches, everything will be nice and square, and I'll be ready for the router table. So we'll set that up on the saw, and then we'll cut all the edges off. So there we go, there's one side done. I won't show you the other side, it's just as boring. So what I've decided to do is make these things completely square on this one. Sometimes I make them a little elongated. The first time I saw a video of these, the guy that was making them made them 3/4 of an inch by 1 inch, which is fine. But I thought that might be a little uncomfortable to sit on, so I like it a little wider. So all I've done here, I've just made it so it'll just take the edge off. And then after we go around all 4 sides, we'll square it all up. The back side I don't really care too much about, so we'll leave that rough. But here we go, we're going to cut it all in half. You get the idea. I'll be back to you when I've got it all done. Yeah, so now what we'll do, over here at the router table, we'll just ease all the edges so there's nothing sharp. There's nothing worse than getting a pinch on one of these things. The saw does a really good job of really making that nice and crisp edge. So we'll go ahead, we'll run it all through. I'll put this on ludicrous speed, so if you want to watch it, go ahead. If not, just fast forward. Okay, there we go. Can you see that? It's all nicely eased. A little bit of sandpaper wouldn't hurt that. So now, what we're going to do, we're going to set up the drill press. I'll set up my little jig, and then we'll start drilling the holes at the appropriate places. Just one point, I thought when I was doing all this routing, I don't know if you can see that behind me, how dangerous tools can actually be. Routers are very dangerous. The reason I bought this is I used to do everything on a 1/2 inch router, ease all this stuff, 1/2 inch router. It's dangerous, it's very tippy, it's hard to stay attached to the piece of wood all the time, and my hand slipped into the router blade. Luckily I didn't lose the finger, but I don't know if you can see that, but it's on an angle now. I'm going to show you a picture of what it looked like after they put stitches in it. So this is a gross alert, so if you don't like torn apart skin and stitches, just hit the 30-second ahead. I'll show 2 quick photos, one right after I had the stitches done, and one a week later when they changed the dressing. The second picture, you can see a little white thing sticking up. That's skin, it's not bone. It didn't go down, luckily it didn't go down to the bone, it just took off the top of the finger. I remember doing it, and it didn't hurt when I first did it. And all I could remember thinking to myself was, boy, oh boy, is the rest of today really gonna suck. And it really, really did. I'll show you those pictures right now. Yeah, that's really not nice. It really put a hamper on my day and the rest of the next 3 weeks, actually. At my job at work, I do use a keyboard and a fair amount of computer work. So yeah, that was really bad. Anyway, shop safety, always be present, always be aware of what you're doing, be in the moment. Okay, let's set up the drill press. All right, we're set up at the drill press. As you can see here, I've got my jig all set up. I've marked it. So what I do is I just put it right in the center and then 3/4 of the inch down. Now the pieces that all get drilled like this are both ends of the 6 inches, one end of the 12 inch, and then we go in, I think it's 2.5 inches or 2 1/8 on the other side of the 12 inch, and then all the 36 get it at both 3/4 of an inch. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that now. And then when we get to the legs, because they're way off, and the front leg and the back leg, then I'll explain that when we get there. So I'll speed all this up and I'll show you a few of them. I won't show you everything. All right, we're done all the 3/4 inch holes in all the pieces. There's the little ones, of course the big ones are behind me. But what we have to do, this is gonna be hard to see, is the back legs. They get cut, or they get drilled at 3/4 of an inch, exactly the same as the lower pieces. I just have to be a little careful when putting this in, I don't knock the jig over. So we put it in like that. There we go. We'll cut the profiles out for those a little later on. Set another jig. All we have to do is just make sure we've got the back side here always against the fence. So from here to get the rest of our measurements, all we really have to do is we have just one measurement really to do. These are the seats. Of course, this is the bottom. Drill through the sides. This hole here is centered 3/4 of the inch down. The next hole down is 9 1/8 down, of course centered. We'll drill that in there. Now, once we get that hole done, to match up with the base, all we do is get a screwdriver of the same diameter. Of course, the hole will be drilled there. We line everything up nice and pretty, and we'll stick this screwdriver through, give it a bang, and we'll have our mark there, and then we'll drill it. That's what we do for those guys. Now, the long one here is obviously the leg. The short one is the back. So what we'll do, same technique, screwdriver through the hole, line it up with the hole in the other end, make sure everything's flush, grab your other screwdriver, get the same width as the hole. There's a mark for our hole there. Grab the other leg. Same piece. Flush. our measurements. Got them there, got them there. All right, on to the dowels. I broke my T-bar. I haven't had a chance to buy another one yet, so we'll have to freehand this. But what we want is about an inch, just a little less than an inch, I think. What is that? Yeah, let's say an inch. All right, now these things can fly all over the place, so eye protection on, please. Here we go, I cut up 10 of them. We only need 8. I'll just, I don't need that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, 8 of them. Yeah, there's 2 there. So there we go. We'll just quickly clean them up, and then we've got to go ahead and drill the holes in them. And that can be a challenge. So pretty much the best way I found to do this is freehand. I tried to make jigs for it, but they all seem to mess up. And never try and hold these things by your hand. And there we go, there's the dowels done. So here we go, it's time to profile the back leg. Now you can see it's got a decent little curve to it. Every single chair is different. You can have fun with it, you can do whatever you want. This is what I do, so let's maybe continue that. So let's put this thing down. So this is the front here. It will radius that around like that, come down like here, and it's always nice. See, take a look at the other one. So what we want to do, I might have to cut a little bit off. So let's save ourselves 5 inches there. So we can do whatever we want there. We can come up like this. I think we will. Come up like that. Curve it around. Nice and thick. Through here, up. What we don't want to do is go too thin here. So something like that. That looks all right. I think that'll do. Sure. Of course, this is all garbage. That's the good stuff. We'll start with that, and we'll see where it goes. All right, we got it all clamped down. Let's see how much of a mess we can make. There we go. So you can see, wow, that's nice. So we'll just draw that on this one. And then we clamp them together and use the handheld belt sander to match them. So there we go. We'll clamp those two together. Take the belt sander to them. Make sure they match. They shouldn't be too bad. As you can see, they're off a little bit. That's because of the blade. One's going to be a little, the blade in the line. I know, look at that. We'll just take that down with a belt sander. It won't be nothing. And they're legs, so they're going to be far apart anyway. So it doesn't really matter. Because they're absolutely spot on. we go. Back legs are done. Now comes the assembly. I'll clean all this off because we need the entire table. Make sure you have your ear protection because we gotta thread these rods through all these holes, and they have a tendency of screaming really loud. All right, here we go, layout time. Okay, gonna do it underneath here. So make sure we don't lose anything. There's our dowels over here. Our legs. I didn't make them completely square, so they're a little off size. So what I did was I left the back, the original. It's the back, it doesn't matter. So as long as we always have the back down, we're good. I've already drilled the holes in the correct location. Let's clean this up here a bit. So what we're going to do now is put all the assemble it. We will start. I start with the top. As you should, I guess. So what happens sometimes is after you drill these holes, they close up a little bit. So sometimes you got to re-drill them. What we're using here to assemble it is 1/4 inch plated rod, threaded rod. What we're going to do, let's just make sure. Yeah, we're just going to quickly run through and re-drill all the holes just to make sure it's not too difficult to get them through. After you drill it, the holes do contract just a little bit, so what we'll do, we'll just quickly go through. I'll speed this up right now. So I moved everything down to the side I need all the room. We'll move on this up here. Down here so you can see a little better. So now what we're going to do, we're going to line all this up, sort of, it doesn't matter. Use the drill. Let's see if it screams for us. Yeah, it's got a little bit. So this is a horrible sound. So when I do this in the summertime, I always close the garage door. Horrible noise. Horrible, horrible, horrible. All right, top done. Now we've got to go ahead and look at our prototype. I don't think you can see it. Anyway, banging stuff around. Let's see, what goes on next? Alright, so what happens is our little 6-inch pieces go in. There's one on the outside there. It goes. How many did I say of these? 10. Right. Oh, I wonder if I got to re-drill those. Oh. I think we'll be able to make that work. One, two, three, four, five, six, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh no. We only had 10 of those things, didn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, you know what I did? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I put one too many in. Oh. Oh well. I knew I cut 8 of those things, so I used them all. Shoot, I only used 7. Now we gotta take this rod out, take one out. It's okay, we got a bad one there anyway. That's better. Now it'll work. Not making mistakes, you're not trying hard enough. You know what, I am gonna re-drill these. There we go. Now here comes the fun bit. Now we got to get the threaded rod all the way through that bend. This is where it gets loud. Whoop. Horrible noise. Now, goes in, the seat goes on, and so do the legs. Now, how did I do that? Second one in. So we got one goes there, like that. So now we go through here, go through the hole that's offset from that. Through, and then we just slowly make our way around. All right, there we go. That's that done. Now, we fold all these guys over like that, and now we run it through there with the dowels. In between, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 dowels. One more horrible noise. Is she okay? I think so. I'm glad I built this bigger table. All right, there we are. Let's put it up. Just try not to poke my own eyes out here. That's it there. We can still shape these down if we want. but that's not too bad. Well, what I'll normally do is, let me see if you can see it. Right here, underneath here, we'll put blocking. Just some leftover wood. We'll just put some blocking in there so it doesn't recline too much. But yeah, that's how you build them things. You know what, let me get you a better view. So there we go, that's it. Fairly simple. They're crazy comfortable. It's well worth building, and it's well worth putting them on the market. I've sold, oh God, I don't know, 40 of these things. I've probably given 12 away too. Probably, yeah, we must have sold at least 40 of them. And they're relatively easy to build. What you can do, you can set up a little bit of an assembly line and get a whole bunch of these done. The most I've done in one sitting is 8 of them. Mind you, it does take a couple days because it does take you a little while to get them all done. Like this one has taken me 3.5 hours to do total over the whole afternoon. Of course, you didn't see that much. Hopefully this video will be about 20 minutes long. But there we go. Now, what we do now is washers go on here. I've got hex nuts that go on there, and then I've got locking, nylon locking nuts that go over top of that. And there will be some gaps. If you can see, there will be some gaps, but that's okay. A rubber mallet, bang them together, just keep tightening everything up, and she'll all come together right nicely. I'm gonna go ahead and make up these blocks here right quick, and then I'll show you how those go in, and then I'll show you how I put on a couple of the nuts and bolts, tighten everything up, and yeah, we'll continue. So there we go, it's just blocking. Just, you know, remember that piece I had too many? Threw it out, chopped it up, that's all I do. So that'll go in there. So you don't want it to stick out the front so when you're sitting on it you can feel it through your backside. So what I do, pick it up a little bit, get it so it doesn't. Centered. Quick little line, do the same on the other side. Sorry, another my glove. There we go. Quick little line. Now after all this work, you certainly don't want to split it. I don't think I drilled the relief hole big enough. This is for locking the whole thing right now. Sorry you can't see. Just blocking like that. Here, I'll make sure you can see this one. I'll go over the other side. Now, if something ever does happen and they happen to rub, so what? You just sand them down, and they'll be fine. And the heater comes on. So let me flop this back up, and then we'll start putting some washers on. One thing about these things, in this state here, see, look at that. See, it doesn't sit up a little better. Is you really got to watch your eyes on these on these metal bits here. So I'll go get the nuts and the washers, and I will, and my rubber mallet, because we'll have to beat it into submission a little bit. And then I'll put the nuts on this side, then we'll call her done. So there we go, we got our, I'm not gonna show you put all of these on, it'd take forever. So anyway, this washer goes on. Put on the nut. I could cut these down, but then you've got to spend time filing down the edges, because once you've actually disrupted the thread, you've got it. Nothing goes back on it correctly. So that's what we do. There's the washer. When I thought about building this on, putting this on YouTube, I thought, hey, I'm going to be smart. When I use the drill to get the threaded rod through here, I'll put the washer and the nuts on as it goes through, and then I'll cut the other end off. And I just remembered I forgot to do that. So this is what we do. What we'll do, we'll go around and we'll do this side, and then flip it around, and then we'll get out the rubber mallet, and we'll make sure everything's nice and tight, and then we can really come aboard it. You've got to be careful though, you don't come aboard it, tighten things down too much, because there's nothing worse than having a threaded rod break right here. And then hopefully you still got enough on the other end to push it through so you can get the bolts on it. But anyway, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to quickly, I'll get this side on, I'll flip it around, I'll get the other side started and on, and then I'll show you how we tighten everything up. Now, I've made a mess and everything's in the way again. Watch these guys. Those looking at it, there's not that many gaps, so that's a plus. So I'll just go ahead and put the washers on, get back, and then I'll speed this up. All right, now we'll just slowly tighten it up. They creak and they groan a little bit, but that's all right. There's a lot of room in here. It's good to get it decently snug to start with. Open and close it a couple times. If it gets too tight, then you know you're just about as far as she's gonna go. Because I've done it. I've broken rods, and that's not a lot of fun. Especially on this side. Like if I broke one of these guys, as you saw earlier, I've already cut that end off, so it would have to go to would have to start again. Get fairly snug. What happens is the wood catches on the thread of the threaded rod, and sometimes it'll bind up, and it won't release properly until after the customer has it and he's got it at home for a while, and he says, "Hey, this chair all loosened up," and then they got to bring it back here and they got to tighten it up for him. See, I don't know if you can see, there's a gap right there. There we go. I don't know if you can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. It moved over almost ½ inch. Look at that. Take that right up again. So this is all I do. I just beat it up a little bit, get it loose. Tighten and retighten. These are a little uneven, but that's all right. We'll just take a sander to them. We'll even them all up, and then we'll put our cut and seal on. It darkens it up a fair amount. Here, well, it darkens it up that much. As that's one that was the same as this one, but I just painted it with the cut and seal, and so there we go. Good Sunday afternoon project. Got it done. All I'm going to do now is just going to go get some 100 grit on my orbital and just run it over there. Just clean up all the high spots, anything that feels a little funky. And then I'll stain it up. And then I'm going to put it on Kijiji or Strathcona Buy and Sell or probably Facebook. If you're in the, watching this, you happen to be in the Strathcona County area or the Edmonton area, and I'm going to put this on Facebook Buy and Sell. So yeah, look it up. All right, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching along. Hopefully it was a little bit informative for you. That's how I build a campfire lounge chair. Yeah, like I said, they're great. They're comfortable. They last in the weather really, really nicely. So thanks for watching. Dave does. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up, and ring the little bell, and you'll be notified every time I update or upload a video, which I try to do once a week, maybe more, usually just once a week. If you really want to watch me sand this thing and stain it, stick around after the end there, and I'll just put it into hyperspeed, and if you want, you can watch along, I guess. I don't know. But anyway, thank you very much, folks, and we'll see you in the next build.